Now, the advantage of you sending emails to supervisors is because when a supervisor sees that you actually have interest in what he or she is doing, you stand a greater chance of getting an admission to study a master's or PhD fully funded, and they will fund you fully. Guys, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining today. First of all, a special shout out to those of you watching from Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, everywhere around Africa, Cameroon. All right, thank you so much for the love. Now guys, today we are going to start something called the scholarship series. This is already June and I will be dropping tips here on how to grab fully funded scholarships in universities in United States of America and Canada. Okay, so if you belong to the broke community, make sure you do not miss any video on this page, because you are going to be getting back-to-back videos. That is a promise to everyone on here. This is the time to move, so we must get to work. Now I want to talk about the scholarship series today. And remember, I've also been talking about how you can get into community colleges in Canada. The reason I've been talking about community colleges is because you have the possibility to study a 1-year program, and you have a possibility to study a 2 years program and quickly move out and start making money for you and your family. All right, but I noticed that some of us, we are still not able. There are some people I got admissions for them, but yesterday I spoke to one and told me it was a friend he was relying on, and at the end of the day nothing actually happened. In fact, his friend ghosted him. Now this brings me back to this stuff. Remember, your friend ghosted you, but it's not the end of your destiny, right? Yeah, people can ghost you, but you own it to yourself to succeed. I always say that even if your parents are rich, you have to do a lot of work. They will give you money, but they will not show you the way forward. So you have to take the money and use it to move forward. Now, those of us who are not able to get funding or money to sponsor their education, you can now rely on scholarships if your grades are good. If you have at least a second class lower, if you have a first class, maybe if you have a third class, it is still not over. I know a couple of people who are studying for free in schools in USA and Canada, so you can do it. If they can do it, then you can do it. Now it's time to get to work. But first, remember I said there are things you need to do. You must not be lazy. That is point number one. If you don't have money. Secondly, you need to get to work. Or thirdly, you need to get to work. Now, for you to get to work, timing is very important. Now, I will be talking about how you can gain fully funded scholarships in USA and Canada. First of all, I would like to explain again that please pay attention more to United States of America. The reason is because US have more universities than Canada, and of course US have a lot of funding opportunities than Canada. However, there are still some funding opportunities in Canada, and again, if you really think that you want to really go in, you need to be consistent, you need to be persistent in order to pull through. Now I will start with the very first thing called how the fundings are distributed, or called funding opportunities, which are called graduate assistantships. And of course, with the graduate assistantship, we have two types. You have research assistantship, you have teaching assistantship, and there is another form which is not really like an assistantship, but it's still a way of funding students. They call it fellowships. Now with the graduate assistantship, you would be given a scholarship, right, to study for free. And when you go in, it's either going to be graduate research assistant, or you either work as a graduate teaching assistant. Graduate teaching assistant here means that you are going to help a supervisor, or maybe a professor or a lecturer or a supervisor, to teach a particular class, maybe an undergraduate class. Or graduate research assistantship means that you are going to be given these funding opportunities by US universities. Then you will be helping the supervisor in his or her lab then to do research. Maybe he has some research work, you guys will be doing it together, and you will be studying for free while they equally pay you weekly. All right, I hope you understand. These are the two forms. Now let's go to the fellowships. In most cases, some universities will give you these opportunities, like these funding opportunities, and when they find out that you actually qualified enough, or you actually meet some certain requirements, or you are very much qualified, they will now give you what is called fellowships. The fellowships here is just to support your academics. I hope you understand. This is how it is. Now, remember, we are talking about a scholarship series, and I want to make sure that at least already there was a group I created last time, though it's not more important now because the series is over. There is one person who is moving to the United States very soon from our group, and I'm very happy she got her visa. I spoke with her a few weeks back and she confirmed that to me. Now, let's move forward. Timing is very important. What time do you need to apply? First, before I even continue with the timing, let me draw your attention to the fact that there is something called applying for universities or contacting supervisors. In subsequent videos, I'm going to tell you some tricks, some ways you could go into the university's website and start contacting supervisors. Then in other weeks to come, or in the months ahead, I would equally be talking about some universities that are going to give you fully funded scholarships, that will give you graduate teaching assistantships, that will give you graduate research assistantship, and that would give you funding opportunities. I'm going to dig all of them and bring on here, so that if you were thinking you are not qualified, you could apply. Remember, I said you need a lot of work, and there are documents required I'm going to be talking about very soon. Now let's go back to timing. If you intend to apply for a university, and if you intend to win a scholarship, this is my very first point. Make sure you draft a list of 10 to 20 universities. Please draft a list of 10 to 20 universities. What did I say? Draft a list of 10 to 20 universities. That is point number one. Then you galvanize the people that are going to be writing recommendation letters on your behalf. Then you look for people that are going to be writing recommendation letters on your behalf. This is the very first advice I want to give to you as a broke student who doesn't have any money to study abroad. Secondly, timing. What time are you going to be applying for these colleges? University admissions opens in the United States of America from September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. All right. First, most of the time you will have some of the admissions closing by April latest. Now, this is my advice for you. If you have nothing in your bank account, if you are looking to chase scholarships, if you want to really get a scholarship, then make sure you watch this video till the end. And now make sure you don't miss this part. First, timing. Draft a list of 10 to 20 universities. Then you start sending emails to supervisors from August, July, August, September. Remember, I said July, August, September. Remember, you do not have money. Now, it is now left for you to put in the work. Start sending emails to supervisors from July, August, September, looking at the university's website, and then sending emails to them. I'm going to talk more about this in the days to come. Now, the advantage of you sending emails to supervisors is because when a supervisor sees that you actually have interest in what he or she is doing, you stand a greater chance of getting an admission to study a master's or PhD fully funded, and they will fund you fully. All right. So this is point number one. Point number two, timing. Make sure you apply for schools from September, October, November, December, and latest January. The reason is because most schools will give scholarships to first come, first serve students. If you apply early, they are going to be looking at your documents and you get scholarships as early as possible. Pay attention to this. It is very, very important. Please do not forget what I said. It is very, very important. That is point number one. Secondly, like I already explained about the timing, another thing is requirements. Make sure you have all the requirements the schools are needing. As of last year, a lot of schools waive out IELTS and the TOEFL scores and the GMAT. This is my advice for you. If you want to gain a scholarship, Some of these schools will not tell you the trick they are using. This is a trick I'm leaking to you now. Make sure you go and write your IELTS exam, and make sure that you write your GRE exam, and make sure if you have an HND or a bachelor's degree with a third class or a second class lower, try as much as possible to evaluate your result using WES evaluation. WES evaluation. It is very, very important. These documents I just gave you now, or these tricks I just gave you, will help you go into United States universities on a fully funded scholarship. If at all you draft a perfect motivation letter, there is something called the SOP. You draft a good SOP, then you are good to go. This is the only way out. Otherwise, if you have a very poor grade, let's say a bachelor's degree was third class, then this is the time to start contacting supervisors for a position in their laboratory. And if they agree to supervise you, then they will tell you apply and let me know immediately. From here, you are not guaranteed a scholarship, but you are already 70% getting into the program for free. This is my advice for you. Now, requirements you will need to apply for graduate schools in the United States of America or Canada include: 1. Your educational credentials. You must have your transcripts ready, and like I said, if your grades are low, make sure you look for money now and you do WES evaluation. It is very important. Remember, I'm talking like this because I believe most of us, we do not have the money. I'm there, I've been there, I'm still there, struggling to be the best version of myself. So this is the advice I'm giving to you. If I knew this advice in 2018, 2019, my life would have been different. Not like different, but more advanced than how I am. But we keep learning and we keep working. So that is it. Requirements: your transcripts. Make sure you get people that will write recommendation letters for you. A motivation letter is needed. All right. Then there are things called CVs, and equally you may need some past works or maybe some works you have been doing and stuff like that. All right. It's very, very important. Please put this into consideration. I hope you understand. Again, there is something called a statement of purpose. Some people usually get it differently. It is called either a statement of purpose, a motivation letter, or a personal statement. A personal statement is not a statement of purpose. Please pay attention to this. It is very, very important. So the three are not the same. A personal statement is actually different from a statement of purpose or a motivation letter. The two are the same, but a personal statement is not the same. Please do more research on it. Now, like I already explained to you how the funding is going to look like, then there are other things that you need to know. Like I said, draft a list of schools, 20 universities, and you start. Make sure you have recommenders that will write recommendation letters on your behalf and submit your application latest January. Some schools will have deadline for you to submit them, but do not miss out on the January. Before the last day in January, you should have submitted your recommendation letters. They are very, very important. Guys, don't miss out on this. It is very, very important. So that is all I have for you. CV is very important. If you have HND, you stand a chance to go in. All right, there are a lot of people who got HND and they are studying PhD in the United States for free. But again, if you ask my opinion, I would say that try to press supervisors, go and chase them with the last blood in your vein, because this is the best and easiest way to get funding opportunities in USA and Canada. It is possible in Canada, but not that Canada does not offer, most of the universities will not give you maybe a fully funded scholarship. Okay, so that is what you should know. And again, like I said, GRE is very important. Yes, some people will say that I do not have the required qualifications to go in. I am coming from an English speaking country, but you know that you don't have the required qualifications to go in. You are still not writing the exam because you come from an English speaking country. Then, like I said, you need a laptop. Some of you don't have laptops. You cannot use a phone, guys. I don't support that. You cannot use a phone. No matter how it is, get a laptop. A second hand can cost you 50k. I don't know which country you are, but again, please, If you can get a second-hand laptop, get it now and start doing the work. If you do all of this and follow my videos, before you know, you would be in the United States or Canada. Please pay attention to this. It is very, very important. I hope you understand. Till we meet again, I will be talking about a lot of scholarships that are coming up in another video. The next video that will drop here, you are going to understand how you can convert a visitor's visa to either a work permit or a student permit. Please pay attention to this. It is very, very important. Till we meet again in another one.